Hi, this is Russ Ballard, and you're listening to the Voices of Russ Ballard podcast.
When I need you, I just close my eyes and I'm with you.
Hi, I'm Leo Sayer, and you're listening to the Voices of Russ Ballard podcast.
It's only a heartbeat away.
Let us begin by beginning.
Hello again and welcome to the Voices of Russ Ballard podcast with me, Ian Street, and my first special guest of 2025, the one and only Colin Blunstone. I hope everyone enjoyed part one when we concentrated on Colin's career with the Zombies. Here on part two, we focus on his brilliant solo career. So on with the show, and let's start with a very, very controversial statement that I made to Colin. I'd love to talk about your solo career, and without meaning to be controversial in any way, whilst I love the Zombies stuff, from a fan's point of view, I prefer your solo catalogue to the Zombies because it's so diverse. Yeah, I do. There you are. I've said it now. I'll probably get some hate mail from all the Zombies fans, you see, when this comes out. But no, not really. But anyway, after a brief spell in insurance, you kind of got the guys back together, didn't you? Both Chris White, Rod Argent, and performing the wonderful 1 year, which you just recently, we were talking about it earlier, done some gigs, which I was lucky enough to be at one of them, where you performed the whole of 1 year in its entirety with the Q strings, is it?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Yeah.
And that's been recorded, you were saying. So that's going to be available at some point?
Certainly hope so. It was recorded on the fourth night and a video as well. You know, it was filmed and recorded.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
It's early days yet. At the end of those dates, everybody seemed to go off to different parts of the world. So we need to get everyone back in and just talk and see what we've got.
Yeah.
But yeah, certainly I would hope next year that will be available. And there's also a documentary, a 1.5 hours documentary that will be available in one way or another next year. It was directed
on the Zombies.
Yes, but on the Zombies, it was directed by Robert Schwartzman, and it's really good. And we'll have to see. I mean, there's talk of it actually having a limited theatre run so that people could go to cinemas and see it. Wonderful. I'm not sure if that'll come off, but there's certainly been talk of it. And then I think it would definitely be shown on, one of the channels on TV. It's really good.
When do you envisage the release of the film of the? I know it's only just been filmed, but the film of the 1 year gigs. When do you envisage that?
Honestly, I don't know, because having left the Union Chapel, which is where it was filmed, I've hardly spoken to anyone who was involved in that. I think we probably need to regroup in the new year and just see what we've got.
Sure.
But I'm sure it will be available. It was a wonderful company that came along, and they showed me some of the product that they'd done before, and it really, really looked good. And they made it very easy for me. They had 7 cameras there. With sort of modern lenses, they don't need to have cameras right in your face. I didn't see a camera the whole time I was there. Maybe they weren't even filming. This has all been a con.
They didn't press the record button.
Yes. I didn't see a camera the whole time I was there, but I'm told there were 7 cameras there, and it'll be really exciting to see that back. And I hope to do more work with that solo band that I had with me. Wonderful band. Dave Bainbridge on keyboards, Chaz Cronk on bass, Soren Koch on piano, and Steve Rodford on drums.
Yeah.
And then also to do more work with the Q Strings, who are an incredible quartet. Very good classically trained musicians, but also they really know how to rock. And it was a wonderful experience playing with them, and I'm hoping to take that ensemble into the studio if I can. I'm certainly going to try.
Well, that's exciting stuff. And also, and if people, when this does go on sale, all this will be available on Colin Blunstone's.
I'm sure it'll be on my website. It'll be
website?
on my website. It'll probably be on the Zombies website as well. I think we'll do everything we can to make sure people know where they can get this video, and obviously they'll be able to buy it at when I'm touring as well. So I would think it's going to be a few months before it can be sorted out. Sorry
Okay.
to sound so vague, but
No, but not at all. So on to Ennismore, and Ennismore for me is when you started to really get into writing for yourself.
yeah,
I know that you're influenced by Duncan Brown. I saw Duncan Brown support Argent once, and I think it was a university gig or something. But I've got that album that he did, and I know that you're very, very well. You've covered some of his songs on your solo albums a little bit later on. But you really did write. I mean, like when I'm looking down the list now of the songs that you wrote, and you wrote, well, I don't know, three-quarters of the album, maybe, if not more, including "How Could We Dare to Be Wrong," which was a very, very strong single for you.
yeah, it was a hit.
Take me up, fill my cup with your wine. I am your home, and you are mine. I'll never leave you. Now that I've seen you, I'll never breathe a word of what I've found. Make my eyes tell no lies to my heart. I've known the way right from the start. You know you'll see me only when you free me. When our darkest hour passes to dawn, how could we fail to see everything that we could be? Now that we've written this song, how could we dare to be wrong? There is no turning back from the truth. It took so long, but now I'm there. Take my word, show me you've heard. I'll never ask again what I ask now. How could we fail to see everything that we could be? Now that we've written this song, how could we dare to be wrong? How could we fail to see everything that we could be? Now that we've written this song, how could we dare to be wrong? How could we fail to see everything that we could be? Now that we've written this song, how could we dare to be wrong? To be wrong.
Yeah, I shared a flat with Duncan, actually, and his manager, this guy called Patrick Lacey, in Ennismore Gardens in London,
Yeah.
which is at the back of the Albert Hall. We all played guitar. Duncan was by far the best, but all three of us played guitar. And we used to play through the night, we'd just play, just share ideas and play. And that's why I called the second album Ennismore,
Yeah.
because as you rightly said, I think it was the first time I really started to stretch myself as a writer. And I felt very supported by the people who used to come to that flat in Ennismore Gardens, were interested and very supportive of my writing. And so, yeah, in many ways, that was the beginning of me as a writer.
I know the road very well because I used to work in Brompton Road,
Oh, right. Yeah.
And there was the Ennismore Arms pub, which
Yes.
sadly is no longer there, is it?
I know. I know. It's a house now.
This
But
is the
there was a release party for Ennismore, the album, and it was in the Ennismore Arms.
wow.
And Duncan came,
Okay.
and we stayed all night. The release party was sort of from 2 till 5 or something like that. I think Duncan and I left there at about 10:30 or 11. We sort of got into the mood, so to speak.
Brilliant. Well, we can't leave Ennismore without talking about a certain song on there called "I Don't Believe in Miracles,"
Beautiful song.
which was amazing. And we'll probably talk a little bit more about that specifically with Russ in a moment. So I won't dwell too much on it, other than to say, what a song.
But I don't believe in miracles. I don't believe in miracles. But I thought you might show your face or have the grace to tell me where you are. Tell me where you are.
So on to Journey. I'm going through the albums here. It's magical. Similarities between Wonderful and Hold Your Head Up, with a boom, boom, boom.
Oh, possibly. Yes. Yes, I hadn't thought of that. Yeah. Possibly, and it wasn't initially recorded as part of the album. I think it was CBS in America asked for extra tracks after the album had been recorded, and I recorded with Russ. It's Magical and You Who Are Lonely.
Yes,
2 extra tracks.
Great track.
And it was great to work with Russ.
I just can't begin to explain the expression on my face. Let's just say that I've lost someone, and losing leaves its trace. And I won't dare to pretend I'm in the hands of but how long before we get what comes to those who wait? You are lonely, you know how slowly time can go when winds of sadness blow. Not to be free. Nobody knows like me, and you who are lonely. And just to know you're there, the world could stop turning, I wouldn't care. Just knowing you're standing so close to me.
I was a huge fan of Argent. You know, I honestly, although I knew them, obviously I knew Rod and Jim probably better.
Yeah.
I always bought tickets. I went to many of their concerts, and I think in some ways I was a bit in awe of them. I just thought they were so far ahead of what people were doing.
Yeah.
I remember hearing their first album, and it just completely knocked me out, and I loved everything that they did.
For the Argent fans that might be watching this on video, in the background you might see the Argent drum skin, which was Bob's original Argent drum head that he used to have back in the day, because he's downsizing at the moment, and he was very kind enough to make me the latest custodian of it, shall we say. So there, I thought I'd put that in there. So great album, and as you say, those 2 tracks were on the US version of the album. Then you went to Rocket Records for 3 albums: Planes, Never Even Thought, and Late Nights in Soho.
Yes.
To be fair, and they are a little bit harder to come by, you know, on the streaming sites and all that kind of thing. I'm guessing that's because of the Rocket connection. Is that correct?
It might be. I don't really know why that should be, but I think that the first 2, Planes and Never Even Thought, were re-released a few years ago as a double album. But
Right.
Late Nights in Soho has never been re-released, although there have been conversations about re-releasing that. So it's not out of the question. Now, I'm never too sure why some albums are available or re-released and some albums aren't. I think it can be, the reasons can be many and varied why that happens.
Yes.
But I know that my management company have been talking to Rocket Records about those albums, and so we'll see if they can find a way forward for them all to be re-released. It could happen.
I hope so. Echo Bridge, another great album, and the Levi Stubbs Tears version, which you completely nailed. And you did, I saw you do in Harpenden recently as well, when you did the...
Yes. It's a wonderful Billy Bragg song.
Mm.
I love songs that have got sort of meaningful lyrics. It's just not obvious on first hearing what's going on there. And then as you listen to it, it unveils itself to you, so to speak, and you suddenly realize this is a really interesting story. I think it's a great song.
With the money from her accident, she bought herself a mobile home, so at least she could get some enjoyment out of being alone. No one could say that she was left up on the shelf. It's you and me against the world, kid, she mumbled to herself. One of those blokes, this other one he laughs at his own jokes. This other war takes away, and when there wasn't a war, he left anyway. When the world falls apart, some things stay in place. Levi stops, tears run down his face. Levi stops, tears.
And I love that album because I hadn't made an album in a long time. And I was introduced to a great producer called John Sweet. He's got a lovely studio, and he sort of allowed me to use his studio. He produced the tracks. It was very kind of him. And we managed to get that album together with basically 2 musicians playing. Gary Forsey on on keyboards. He also programmed the drums with John Sweet and Tom Toomey on guitar.
Right.
And those two musicians put a really good album together, I think. I'm so fond of that album and so thankful for all the hard work they put in for very little reward, I hasten to add. And it was the studio at that time was in John Sweet's garage. It was, you know, you open the door to his garage and you've got a grand piano in there. And I thought, and all the studio equipment. And I thought, that's great. It looks good, but where do we stand? There is no room in the studio. The equipment and the grand piano just took up all the room. And so it was recorded on a shoestring, to say the least. And that's why I'm really fond, or particularly fond of that album.
It's a lovely.
It just had everything going against it, except there was a wonderful spirit of everyone that was involved. You know, they really wanted to be there, and they gave 100%. And so I'm always very grateful that we were able to get that album together.
Great album. So a quick mention to some singles released in the 80s. Obviously, famously, What Becomes of the Broken Hearted with Dave Stewart.
Yeah.
Miles Away, which I think is just phenomenal. Tracks of My Tears.
Miles Away, funnily enough, was a huge hit in the Far East. And when the Zombies went over to play in the Philippines, that was the song they wanted us to play. And I'd only ever sung it in the studio. And we had to learn it really quickly. And the first time we played it was on live TV. And it was a little bit testing, bit challenging to do that. The first time you actually play it on live TV. I was amazed. It was really, really popular in the Far East.
If I could reach you, you know I would. If I knew the way, the right things to say. If I could touch you, I wish I could. If I only knew where, you know I'd be there. Miles away, you're so many miles away, leaving my lonely life to live another day without you. Miles away, you're so many miles away from me, and I can't find you all those miles away. If I could hold time in the palm of my hand, I'd not let it through, I'd save it for you. If I had one wish at my command, I'd want it to be you wishing for me. Miles away, you're so many miles away, leaving my lonely life to live another day without you. Miles away, you're so many miles away from me, and I can't find you all those miles away. Miles away from me.
Tracks of My Tears, yeah, was a small hit over here. We do that live now.
Yes.
And when I put this solo set together, I did want to feature songs that I'd had some kind of chart success with. Hopefully, but people might remember the records I made. But on top of that, a lot of these songs are just really good songs. Tracks of My Tears is a song, if I'd never recorded it, I'd love to sing it live anyway. And it usually goes down incredibly well.
I think you choose your songs really well for your solo set. And I was there at the borderline when you played probably one of the last shows before it got changed or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was a great show, a real diverse, sort of set of songs from your career. So I'm going to move on to Alan Parsons because, again, I can remember buying, these albums. Pyramid was the first album that I bought, actually. No, it wasn't. iRobot was the first one. And then because I enjoyed it, I bought Pyramid. And I remember playing, hearing The Eagle Will Rise Again and thinking, sounds like Colin Blunstone. And of course, they never gave you a credit on the cover. It was sort of like, well, there's a credit of all the singers, but it doesn't say The Eagle Will Rise Again by Colin Blunstone. But that's an absolutely phenomenal track. And, the harmonies, what a track that is.
And I could easily fall from grace, then another would take my place, for the chance to behold your face. And the days of my life are but grains of sand as they fall from your open hand at the call of the wind's command. Many words are spoken when there's nothing to say. Fall upon the ears of those who don't know the way to read between the lines, that lead between the lines, that lead me to you. All that I ask you is show me how to follow you, and I'll obey. Teach me how to reach you, I can find my own way. Let me see the light, let me be the light.
Really love that.
It's a beautiful song, written by Eric Wolfson, who was, of course, was Alan's silent partner.
Yeah.
Eric wrote most of the songs, actually. And I think I got the chance to sing that track because Alan Parsons was assistant engineer on Odyssey and Oracle. So I met him at Abbey Road. And also he lived quite close to me. We both lived close to Hampstead. I lived in West Hampstead. Not quite sure where Alan was at that point, but I used to see him on a Saturday morning in the Flask in Hampstead, having a pint of Young's beer, one of my favourite beers. And so we knew one another. And when he came to do these wonderful albums, he tried to get me on the first album, but I was in America recording for Rocket Records, and so he couldn't get me. But then I did sing on the second album, Pyramid. The Eagle Will Rise Again. Beautiful song. Beautiful.
It really was. I mean, obviously, Old and Wise is the big stage favourite, and why wouldn't it be? Because it's just stunning, and it's. I told my wife it's one of my funeral songs, or the funeral song, just to get everybody crying their eyes out, kind of thing, really. But but again, we can't. Everybody talks about that one, and rightly so. But Dancing on a High Wire and Somebody Out There, those two excellent songs as well. Love those.
Yeah. I think they're good songs. I think the first two are the standout songs, and probably
right.
Old and Wise is one of my favourite songs I've ever recorded, to be honest. It's just beautiful. I tell you, quite interestingly, that Alan and Eric, on the first two songs, they would send me a demo of the song perhaps a week before the studio date. And then once we'd established a relationship like that, they would just phone me and say, look, we're in Abbey Road. We've got a song we think you could sing. Come down and have a listen to it and then sing it. And I found that I'm very flattered that they thought that I could do that, but I found that quite challenging. I quite like to have a song for a few days beforehand to really get into it. But you know, it was their project, and of course I was very pleased to help out.
Weird. The Alan Parsons Project is one of those things. It's got such a huge following, and yet they never played a live gig. Well, actually, Alan Parsons does some live stuff now, but at the time,
he does. He does now. Not at the time. No, I don't think either of them particularly wanted to play live, but particularly Eric didn't want to. I think, but Alan certainly plays now, and he plays on these cruises, notably on the Blue. Is a cruise that was based on the Moody Blues to start with.
Yes.
Obviously, the Moody Blues don't play anymore, but the cruise still goes on, and Alan Parsons is on that regularly, and I know that because the Zombies
been on it. Yeah,
we played it many times, and I'm going to do it as a solo artist next autumn. It's actually in August. It was always earlier in the year, but this time it's going to be in August, going up from Boston, and I'm really looking forward to that.
I know you're doing the Rock Legends cruise in February because we're on that. We're going to that. We're going to be.
Oh, you're going on it? Yes, Alice Cooper and Styx, I think, are on that, aren't they?
Yeah, Styx, Alice Cooper. Yeah, some great people.
Well, originally, the Zombies were going to do that cruise.
Yes,
but you know, Rod doesn't want to tour anymore, and so it's been turned into the solo band are going to play it. So I'm really thrilled about that. And afterwards, we're going to go to California and tour with Al Stewart. He's an old mate, a great writer and performer, and that's going to be fun.
They just announced some more dates because there was a couple of dates. Now I saw there's another for Beverly Hills you're playing and all sorts of great.
Yeah, I know we're playing in Beverly Hills. Yeah, it'll be good. I think it's about 8 gigs, something like that. So I have seen the list.
So dear listener, get out there and see that because that is a hell of a double bill. Al Stewart, Colin Blunstone. That is
I think that will be fun. Absolutely.
And just before we leave Alan Parsons, I've got to mention Keats. I wonder how many Zombies fans or Colin Blunstone fans know about Keats.
Well, absolutely. That was a band that it was Eric Wolfson's idea to get the players who played regularly on the Alan Parsons Project to play as a band. And 2 of the players were in Pilot, really good writers and really good players. And Eric asked me if I would be the singer in this, as it turned out, studio band. And we only made just that one album. There was talk about a second album, but it didn't happen in the end. So and it was all based around Abbey Road as well. So it was great to get back to Abbey Road. It was a fun album to make.
And of course you did the opening track became I think an opening track on one of your solo albums. Turn Your Heart Around.
Oh, Turn Your Heart Around. I did re-record that on a solo album. Yeah, that's a Pete Barden song. Pete was a wonderful writer, obviously known for his work with Camel. But you know, he's been in many bands and sadly no longer with us. But he was a very prolific writer and really good writer as well. And I thought that song had been on the Keats album and that had gone. And I thought it was worth recording it again, so just more people would hear it. It's just such a strong song.
Heard you play it live too. Very, very strong.
There's so much unspoken. Why have you
That's on an album, dear listener, if you want to look it up. It's on an album called On the Air Tonight, which we're going to talk about in just a second. But before we do that, we can't finish without talking about the last two solo albums, which I think are amazing. The Ghost of You and Me, which is the title. There's a title track called The Ghost of You and Me. And the way that flows, I think it's a really great album. Dance with Life. Follow and then Dance with Life. The way that goes in. It's a really great album.
Thank you.
2009, I think that was something like that.
It could be. I'm not too sure. Yeah, but The Ghost of You and Me is a wonderful song.
Brilliant song.
It really is.
What am I supposed to do with all these blues haunting me everywhere? No matter what I do, watching the candle flicker out in the evening glow, I can't let go. When will the night be over? I didn't mean to fall in love with you, and baby, there's a name for what you put me through. It isn't love, it's robbery. I'm sleeping with the ghost of you and me. The ghost of you and me. Seen a lot of broken hearts go sailing by. Phantom ships lost at sea, and one of them was mine. Raising my glass, I sing a toast to the midnight sky. I wonder why the stars don't seem to guide me. I didn't mean to fall in love with you, and baby, there's a name for all the things you do. It isn't love, it's robbery. I'm sleeping with the ghost of you and me. Watching the candle flicker out in the evening glow, I can't let go. When will the night be over? I didn't mean to fall in love with you, and baby, there's a name for what you put me through. It isn't love, it's robbery. I'm sleeping with the ghost of you and me. I didn't mean to fall in love with you, and baby, there's a name for all the things you do. It isn't love, it's robbery. I'm sleeping with the ghost of you and me. The ghost of you and me.
Very sophisticated writing, I think, and I was thrilled to get the opportunity to record that.
Yeah, and probably my favourite on the air tonight is Dancing in the Starlight. What a track that is as well.
Oh, really? Yes.
Yeah, really good.
That's a song that I wrote, and yeah, I really like that
yeah.
song.
Very
you know,
strong.
you-
Very
yeah, you've just triggered huge interest in me that I must listen. I haven't listened to that in ages. I must have a listen to it.
If I had to do it all again, no, I'd do it just the same. 'Cause in the end, the road I chose took me to you. So many things I didn't say, so many times I fell along the way. But in the end, the road I chose took me to you. Time after time, I nearly crossed the line, trying to find the light inside the darkness. You opened up my eyes and helped me break the ties, that helped me to a life of emptiness. Dancing in the starlight, now I know that loving you set me free. Ooh, everything's gonna be alright. I just wanna lose myself in loving you.
Yeah.
Really, really good song.
I think the basis of that song was about how if you change one thing in your life, you change everything. You know, maybe it would be better if I'd done things differently in my life, but I'm really happy where I am now. And if you change one thing, everything changes, and then you wouldn't be where you are now. And, you know, I always think about, as I said earlier, triggers with songs. It may not be literally line for line about that, but that's the idea behind the song.
Hello, I'm Paul Shortino, and you're listening to the Voices of Russ Ballard podcast.
Stay with me tonight, stay forever.
So before we finish with you personally, and thank you so much for spending the time. It's been fascinating talking to you. We're going to have some fun questions. I've got 3 fun questions. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on a desert island, and I'm going to say to you, you know, you'll be fed and watered and etc., but you're only allowed to take one song with you on that desert island. What song would that be?
Be Fragile by Sting. That's my favorite song. I think it's wonderful, and it just
No hesitation.
sums up life. It just sums up life. Sorry?
No hesitation, straight there. It's good.
No. Well, I've been asked that question a few times before.
Oh, okay. It's funny because actually a lot of the guests go, oh my, no one's ever asked me that before. So anyway, we're going to expand that now. We're going to leave you on the desert island, but we're going to be a bit kinder to you and say to you, you can only have one album. So we take away the song. Okay, that's fine. But now you can listen to a whole album. What would be the album that you'd have with you?
It'd be Blue by Joni Mitchell.
You've been asked that one before again, haven't you?
I have. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have told you that,
No, it's
actually.
good. No, it's good. No, it's lovely to hear it's great to hear your taste in music. I'm sure everybody listening to this would like to probably no idea that you're into Joni Mitchell or even Sting in that respect. So, well, the last fun question, you may not have been asked before. I don't know. We'll see. And this is about a dinner party. I'm going to allow you to host your own dinner party. Colin's just put his hands on his head, by the way, if you're listening to this. I can't see him. So I'm going to be your waiter. I'll serve you. I'll cook all the food, and you get champagne, all of the best wines. But you're allowed to have 4 guests, alive or dead, so we can celebrate people's lives. And who would you choose in terms of the dynamics around the table? It might be that you just miss someone, or we've had all sorts of answers like Freddie Mercury, Frank Sinatra, all sitting around a table. These kind of people. There's no right or wrong answer, but
No. How many is it for?
4, yeah.
Well, I think Elvis would be a good one.
Excellent one, yeah.
I mean, he's one of my inspirations from when I first started singing. And then maybe Paul McCartney, because he's just a wonderful writer.
Yeah.
And he's just had this huge career. As he's been writing
Still going.
I know, he's just incredible. I'd like Ricky Nelson, because in my teens, he was a real favourite of mine.
Right.
That's 3, isn't it? I'm struggling now.
So Ricky Nelson, Elvis Presley,
Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney. Could you imagine Elvis and Paul having a, sort of?
I'd like to think they have a really good chat, actually.
They would. I think in the accents that would be fun.
Yes,
to hear the dynamics.
Trying to think. Well, perhaps from a few years ago, it would be nice to have Brian Wilson there. From his days in the 60s, when he was really on top of things and he was just making these wonderful records. I think that would be a very good dinner party, to have them exchanging all their ideas and hopes and plans and dreams. I think that would be wonderful.
Brilliant. Colin, it's been absolute pleasure talking to you. This part of the podcast is coming to an end. We're going to get Russ Ballard to have a chat with you in a moment. But thank you. It's been a total privilege and fun for me. As you probably gathered, I'm a fan, not a journalist. So the important thing is that, it's great to reminisce about your wonderful career.
Well, thanks, Ian, and thanks for having me on the show. I've really enjoyed it.
Not at all. Not at all. It's been great having you. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed that. What a brilliant solo career Colin has had, alongside his work with the Zombies, of course. So much good music to cover. For the US fans listening, don't miss Colin's shows in the US that we spoke about. It's a great double bill of Colin and Al Stewart. Numerous dates, so go to colinblunstone.net, that's Colin's website, for more details and to see availability of tickets. Well, we have one more show from our recording with Colin, and that comes very soon when he's in conversation with the one and only Russ Ballard. So join us next time on the Voices of Russ Ballard podcast. Take care.
'Cause if love's not worth fighting for, it's not worth anything at all. Holding on can be wrong, whether we stand or fall. And all that I ask of you is help me to work this through. In the end, I could never ask for more. What is love if it's not worth fighting for?
Hi, this is Russ Ballard, and you're listening to the Voices of Russ Ballard podcast.